Now.
Rare and shocking. That's how police described a murder inside Universal City in a home. Officers accuse a mother of stabbing and killing her own 9-year-old son.
Well, today we are learning more about this crime, and an hour ago police held a press conference, and our Erica Hernandez joins us live from Universal City with an update on what we know and what investigators are still trying to find out. Now, a warning here, the details of this case are disturbing. Erica.
Yeah, Stephanie. So we now know that 50-year-old Wilma Jamitza Medina has been charged with the capital murder of her son, her 9-year-old son, David Ogbiven Ihanayer Medina. Now, Universal Police today saying that Medina's husband, a China Grove police officer, arrived home yesterday after working a night shift when he started to hear screaming in the master bedroom. Now, according to the arrest affidavit, the dad had to break the door down because it was locked. They say once he got inside, he saw his wife holding his 9-year-old son, who was not moving. Police say Medina was also stabbing herself before her husband grabbed her and tried to get what they call a dagger-like object away from her. The child died from multiple stab wounds to the neck. Medina was taken to the hospital. The arrest affidavit says while there, she kept saying she was being followed by people, and she also requested an attorney when her Miranda rights were read. Today, Universal Police said this was one of the hardest scenes for first responders to respond to.
I don't think that anything could have prepared our first responders of this city for what they saw. It was devastating, and it was very, very, very rough on them. We've had the opportunity, luckily, to get our officers and have a debrief and talk about it and everything like that. And our firefighters and EMS, they've had a chance to sit down and kind of get it all out and everything like that, and take care of their mental health.
Now, according to police, there had been no prior calls made to this home or against Medina, and they weren't aware of any mental health issues she may have had. Now, she's been booked into the Bexar County Jail after receiving medical care. Her bond has been set at $600,000. Now, no pre-indictment court setting has been set for her yet, but this is a capital murder case, so if and when she does go to trial, the DA's office could choose to proceed with the death penalty in this case. Live in Universal City, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Erica, for that live report. Moving on to the weather now, looking outside with live cam, it's already 91 degrees. We know it's going to be a really hot one, Shelby.
Yeah, especially when temperatures this morning were just sitting for some folks in the 50s, and now we're already at 91 degrees, and we're going to continue to see our temperatures warm up. We're expecting temperatures today to be on the warmer side. 91 degrees in San Antonio, feels a few degrees warmer, feels like 97 in New Braunfels, still sitting in the 80s as you go out west near Del Rio. But today, this afternoon, we're going to continue to see the temperatures increase. Our peak temperature is expected to get to about 101. But here's the thing, the heat indices can feel a few degrees warmer. Some might even feel like they're 105, and here's why. We're going to continue to see the clear skies across South Central Texas, so San Antonio can feel like 105, Austin can feel like 100, along the I-35 and I-37 corridor, feeling like triple digits. So if you're going out today, remember to find some shade, drink some water, stay hydrated. But we're getting a little bit of a weather change as we go into the weekend. We're seeing the remnants of now Tropical Storm Lorena move through, and that's going to give us a chance of some rain starting Saturday. But really what we're watching is to have an impact on Sunday and even getting into Monday. We're watching that chance for some areas to get 5 inches of that rain bullseye, and that's going to cause some tricky travel, some slick roads, and we want to watch out for the low water crossings. I'll talk about this much more and what you can expect for your weekend and moving forward coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, today, Governor Greg Abbott is in Center Point, and he helped hand out free laptops to children and acknowledged the community's resilience in the wake of the July 4th floods.
I've heard stories about what you all have done to help neighbors, to help families, what you've done to rescue animals, what you've done to help restore a fire station. You're doing so much to help your community. The least that we can do is to help give back to you.
Well, the governor reiterated that state will continue to support Hill Country communities as they rebuild, and Senate Bill 5 passed the House and Senate. It would pull $240 million from the Rainy Day Fund for the state's match for federal disaster response funds and other disaster needs. It will now be sent to the governor's desk for signing.
Well, the camp safety bills created after the deadly July 4th flooding have now passed the Texas legislature and are heading to Governor Greg Abbott's desk. The Senate named the bills Heaven's 27 Camp Safety Act in honor of the Mystic victims. Those girls' families testified just a couple weeks ago, pleading with lawmakers to pass these bills. Senate Bill 1 would prohibit cabins within a floodplain near a river and mandate cabins display evacuation routes, as well as require ladders on cabins for rooftop access during emergencies. House Bill 1 would require the camp submit emergency plans to the state, mandate camp staff train kids on flood emergencies, and require the installation of emergency warning systems. Camp Mystic released a statement after the bill's passing, saying in part, "Today, we are writing to reaffirm our support for legislation that will make camps and communities along the Guadalupe River safer. We applaud the families of the 27 precious campers and counselors for their meaningful advocacy and your leadership in advancing this important legislation." Now, later tonight in our newscast, we will be addressing the debated piece of the legislation that prohibits camps to have those cabins inside FEMA's 100-year floodplain.
Well, the search is on for a suspect after San Antonio police say a man was shot in the head last night. Right now, the details are limited, but we can tell you that it happened around 9:40 p.m. on Briggs Road, not far from I-35. San Antonio police tell us that he was able to call for help. He was taken to the hospital, and he is expected to be okay.
A former Gillespie County Sheriff's deputy is now facing serious charges. 42-year-old Edward Lee Holloway III was initially accused of rape after responding to a call in an RV park in Fredericksburg. The sheriff's office took the allegation seriously, launched an investigation, but Texas Rangers later found the rape accusation to be false. However, their investigation uncovered over 900 messages on Holloway's county-issued phone showing he had consensual sex while on duty. The messages also revealed Holloway and a woman allegedly attempted to delete evidence off those phones about the meetups. Last week, Holloway was arrested, fired from his job, and charged with 2 third-degree felonies and 1 Class A misdemeanor.
Well, today you have a chance to hear directly from the mayor and share your thoughts in District 3. The mayor is hosting a community town hall to share an update on the first 100 days of the administration. So this event will include a presentation about the progress made so far, followed by a question and answer session. People can ask questions that they've pre-submitted or bring them to the meeting. The town hall will take place from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and this is happening at the Southside Lions Senior Center. Well, the San Antonio Food Bank needs your support. It's Hunger Action Month, and KSAT Community is teaming up with the food bank to help drive donations.
This month, there are donation sites all across the city at various Randolph Brook Federal Credit Union branches. Our Japhanie Gray is live at the Brooks location on Goliad Road. Japhanie, how can people help with this?
Yeah, let me just tell you something real quick. I've been here since about 8:30ish or something like that. When we first got here, we had about, a can here or there. We had one of the members show up with this bad boy right here. This right here can feed so many different families, and it's so needed. Again, Hunger Action Month, all about pushing for the awareness, the volunteers, the donations. And again, this is going to serve over 100,000 needy families and people who just, can get a hand up in this world today. So right now, I want to turn my attention to my very own spokeswoman. We got Victoria Young. Okay, can you tell us, what does it feel like knowing that a member came in, said he saw it, and was just like, I need to come and actually donate? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's great. We love our members, and just at RBFCU, we're part of the community. Our members are a part of this community, and so much of what we want to do is be community-based and give back. Our mission is to improve our members' economic well-being and quality of life. So not surprised in the least bit that one of the members came to one of the 19 locations that has a bin to come drop off food. We love to see it, and we hope we see more of it.
Right, and you said it don't necessarily have to be a member. And how long will this last? Like, how long can a person, do they have to come and drop off some donations?
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to be a member to come and donate food. Just come on in and help out. We're doing this all through the month of September. We're a partner for Hunger Action Month. We're here to nourish numbers, and we could use your help too. So yeah, come on by.
And I also have the CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank joining us this morning as well. He was here all morning with us. I'm talking about morning. We're in the afternoon now. That's how much we've been working. Okay. Obviously, there are 12 needed items that you guys are kind of pushing for that people can donate.
That's absolutely right. Now, again, I want to thank everyone throughout San Antonio for going orange, showing up for Hunger Action Month. Our theme this year, Nourishing in Numbers, for that 100,000 people we feed each week that you mentioned, but we can't do it without a lot of food, and we can't do it without a lot of great partners. And our FBCU is an incredible partner. They've opened their 19 locations throughout the city to make convenient drop-offs for those non-perishable food items. 12 of our most items include soups, chilies, stews, rice, beans, anything that your family loves will be something a family in need would love. Number one needed item, peanut butter. So if you can donate that, it will go a long way in feeding kids. But man, they make it convenient. If you can't make it out, you can always go to our website, safoodbank.org, and donate online. $1 equals 10 pounds of foods that'll help us feed families throughout South Texas.
Yeah, and I will say that Mr. Cooper actually walked in here with the biggest smile on his face. He says, there's a reason why we do what we do. And you mentioned that you actually ran into a family who's paying it forward after you guys had a hand in helping them get back on their feet.
Yeah, just so inspiring. Our city's so amazing, but boy, coming in the branch, there was a family that had made a donation. They'd said, hey, look, you guys, you were here for our family when we were in our season of struggle. When we were in need, you were there for us. We want to pay it back. We've been out to volunteer. That's what San Antonio is all about. So thank you, San Antonio, for always making sure our neighbors get fed. And thank you, RFBCU, for helping us stock our barrels here at all the branches.
Yes, I want to see all these bins filled up by the end of Hunger Action Month. And again, this is going to be going on at their 19 different locations, and those 19 different locations and their addresses, all the information you need to know on our website, ksatcommunity.com. Jaffney Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jaffney, for that live report. It's good that people are starting to donate early so they'll have the whole month to do this.
Yes, and Jaffney's given us homework. Fill the buckets.
Yes. We will. Thanks, guys. Well, making skateboarding possible for everyone, that's the goal of a local nonprofit. How they're making it happen. Like out there with live cam this afternoon. We're already at 91 degrees, and I mean, we're gonna reach those triple digits today, Shelby.
Oh, it's gonna be toasty, not only today, but we're gonna continue to see the warmer temperatures also tomorrow before we get a little change in the weather pattern this weekend. But what also is happening this weekend is the first game at the Alamo Dome for UTSA. It's the UTSA versus the Texas State Bobcats. Now, for the game, expect temperatures to be at about 96 degrees for Saturday for kickoff, but we're still going to be dodging some spotty showers, about a 20% chance. I'll talk about the rain chances of what you need to know coming up after the break.
Well, it's 2 months, the 2-month mark for the flood anniversary. And so we have to keep these things in mind when we're talking about rain and heavy flooding. We know there's a lot of anxiety out there when it comes to this type of forecast, when we know that we may have some downpours, but we want to make sure people know Saturday's looking good. Sunday, you will be watching some possible flooding.
Yeah, and I know that the weather team is very cautious, especially because everyone in South Central Texas went through it, even if you weren't in Kerr County. And so our hearts are still with everyone as well too. But the good news is we're not expecting the rain till Saturday, and that's going to be the earliest. Today is still going to be very toasty, expecting temperatures to get to triple digits. So if you do have any plans you maybe wanted to get done this weekend, If you have time today, yes, it's still going to be toasty. See if you can get 1 or 2 of the activities done today, because this weekend we're tracking the rain. And here's why. Tropical Storm Lorena, as of 10 a.m., it was downgraded from Category 1 hurricane to Tropical Storm Lorena. However, if you look at the winds, it's only 70 miles an hour. So it's barely a Category 1, or it's barely a tropical storm, excuse me. And it is still just off the coast of Baja California. But over the next few hours, we are expecting to continue to see it impact areas of Baja California, not only today, but also tomorrow as we get into Saturday. And here's the thing, all of that moisture associated with the low in that center of Tropical Storm Lorena, as it continues to downgrade into a tropical depression and just an area of low pressure, it's going to move closer to San Antonio. Specifically starting on Sunday, we can start to see some of that moisture associated with Lorena impact areas of San Antonio and even south central Texas, and even areas of West Texas. So this is what we're watching, because if this low pressure system goes just to the north, it might not have as much rain issued for us. But if it goes to the south, or if the front associated with it stalls just a little bit, that can mean that we're watching that chance for some flooding for areas of San Antonio, especially because some areas are already saturated from the rain we saw earlier in the week on Sunday, and any rain we start to see on Saturday because of the extra moisture getting brought in, that can also have an impact, which is why we're watching the chance for some flooding to be an issue, especially because all this tropical moisture is known to help with that rain-making energy and to help have the chance for some downpours that could produce some localized flooding. Good news is, by the time we get to Monday about midday, that finally pushes off, but there's still a few more chances of some scattered showers as we go into Monday afternoon to the evening. And finally on Tuesday, we get that last push of the rain leaving San Antonio. But with that, the Weather Prediction Center did issue a marginal and a slight risk for some flash flooding on Sunday. And that's because they see the chance of the low pressure system and all that moisture just sitting in areas of South Texas, which is why the hill country or western portion, as you get closer to the Rio, that's why they're in that slight risk. But for San Antonio, we're in that marginal risk, and we're tracking the chance, the greatest chance of the showers late Sunday into Monday morning. And that means it's going to also be a little dangerous at times, because it's going to be overnight when you necessarily can't see if there is actual any rain falling or if there's any flash flooding at times, which is why it's going to be dangerous with a possible bullseye of 5 inches of rain. And that's where we're playing the game of where's the rain and that rain lottery, because the rain, your neighbor 5 miles down the road might get 4 inches of rain, but you might only get an inch. And that's what we're watching very closely, because it's going to be very isolated. And with that, we do have about a 70% chance of rain for Sunday night into Monday. Now, during the day Sunday, it's still a 40% chance, but some areas might still see a 50 to 60. It depends on what your location is. And the forecast is ever so changing. So definitely double check with us. We'll continue to keep you updated. And if you don't like the rain chances, don't worry, you get the warm temperatures today and tomorrow. You get some cooler temperatures as we go into Monday, 85 degrees with the rain. And even on Sunday and Tuesday, if you don't necessarily like the 90s, some areas where you do see the rain might cool down just a little bit. So it's definitely going to be something to watch. You can watch us on the KSAT weather app. We'll keep you posted wherever you get your weather news.
All right, it's nice to see that temperature drop though. Okay, a local nonprofit is helping make some skateboard dreams come true, even for people who didn't think it was possible. Needing a walker to walk, but able to skate. That is a reality for some San Antonio kids, thanks to a local nonprofit that makes skateboarding possible for people of all abilities.
And our Sarah Costa spoke with the creators of Ability Skateboarding and a teen who is benefiting from their adaptable skateboards.
1, 2, 3, muscles. Both in.
I was like, this is so cool. I can't believe I have never tried this before.
15-year-old Rhea Edison's smile is contagious. And if it's possible, her smile gets even bigger when she is flying on a skateboard. Whoa! Rhea was born with spina bifida. That affects her mobility, which is why she uses a walker or wheelchair for long distances. But it has never affected her mindset.
And you can stand on the board.
And even after 15 surgeries, she has always stayed active and powered through with a smile. It's why her mom says they were so excited to work with Ability Skateboarding.
The doctor said from day one, she could do anything a child without spina bifida could do, so we ran with it. So when Andrew came to us and said, let's try out skateboard, I was like, let's go for it. And Rhea, she tried it and loved it.
I'm gonna ret you up a little bit more, but I'm gonna get these on first.
Andrew Garcia and his team created the nonprofit Ability Skateboarding, where they make adaptable skateboards for kids with mobility issues.
What inspired you to create this nonprofit, to create these opportunities for people like Rhea?
I saw a big void in services for action sports, including skateboarding.
And in just 2 years, they have helped 300 San Antonio kids try skateboarding for the first time through their adaptive skateboards and have reached 600 kids nationwide.
No kid will be left out. You bring your child, any diagnosis, Andrew and the team will make a way and let them enjoy skateboarding.
And when they don't have something that works, they will build one, like this one.
There's only 3 of these in the world.
3 of these in the world. She hopes that if other kids see her skateboarding, they'll get inspired to grind too. Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Well, the second annual Texas Eats Food Festival is just a couple weeks away now, and it's your chance to get some of the top tier bites.
David Elder went to La Panaderia today to get a taste of what you can expect from this year's event.
Hey guys, we're out here on the northwest side of San Antonio at La Panaderia, right next to Fiesta, Texas. And joining us right now is David Caceres, pastry chef and owner out here. Thank you so much for having us.
David, I'm so happy to have you here.
I was happy to be here earlier. I'm happier to be here right now because you have so many great bites on the menu. You have a huge cake in front of us.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot going
we're
on.
at the lab, so.
Yeah, we're in the bread lab right now, and we're here because we want to talk about all the bites that you're going to have out at the Texas Eats Food Festival happening September 20th at the Boeing Center at Techport, which will also have live music from Gunpowder Soup. So make sure you get your tickets, scan the QR code on the screen, or go to txfoodfest.com. And David, you're going to be showing us right now. This is a secret bite.
Yeah, I mean, you are literally just working this, you know?
Yeah, so it's being worked on, but it is like a Dubai chocolate inspired like pan dulce, right? This has the bones on top, right? This is a traditional.
The traditional pan de muerto.
Yeah.
Just with the twist, the chocolate Dubai twist.
Yeah, a chocolate Dubai pan de muerto twist. And check this out on the inside. Look at all that. So it's pistachio cream. You have the Nutella on the inside, pistachio on top.
Yes.
And then you have all that granulated sugar. I did take a bite earlier, and let me tell you, the texture is beautiful on this, and the bread is super fresh. You guys can go out, get your tickets, and experience La Panaderia, as well as 20-plus award-winning chefs out at the Texas Eats Food Festival. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Literally, we can't wait for it.
Make sure you scan the QR code, get your tickets. David, thank you so much for having us out here. And you guys, we're going to have a lot more with different restaurants all across the city here coming up next week on GMSA.
So exciting.
I know, we can't wait. Looking out there with live cam, 91 now, but this morning it wasn't too bad, Shelby.
It was, I would say, a little chilly for some folks. I mean, I was very much excited because it's fall. We're starting to see the pumpkin flavoring and all the fall things are coming out and about. So some folks this morning maybe appreciated waking up in the 50s. We had Junction waking up at 55 degrees, Kerrville 59, San Antonio today. We did get to the 60s at 69 degrees, and most of us basically, if you draw Highway 90 to the north, that's where we saw the cooler temperatures. And if you were south, you were still sitting in the 70s, a little more seasonable, a little closer to average. But normally when we see these cooler temperatures, it's associated with our first few cold fronts. However, our first cold front, or cool front, I should say, normally we don't get till about September 24th. Well, October, we had 3 days where we just saw our first cold front, and we've technically seen our first cool front, but it's been bringing us the rain chances. So we are still seeing our average cool front, most of them in September. And once again, our average is September 24th, which is right around the fall equinox. Now today, although it's meteorological fall, it's not feeling like it. We're still expecting temperatures to get to about 101 degrees today. Still seeing those mostly clear skies, but then this weekend, we're seeing a little bit of a change in the weather pattern like we've been mentioning. The rain chances continue to start Saturday, and they're going to go till Monday and even Tuesday for some folks, and that's going to give us some more chances of some cooler temperatures. I'll talk about what you need to know if you're going out and about this weekend and give you another look at what you can expect coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Shelby. Well, a family wants answers after a man was found dead Monday while in custody at the Bexar County Jail. 33-year-old Dimitri Lira had been in jail since late July after San Antonio police arrested him for assaulting a family member. A spokesperson for BCSO says he died after a medical episode that they say may have been compounded by pre-existing medical conditions. But his family says they need more information.
What questions does your family still need answers to?
What was the medical episode that caused my brother's death? And were there regular checks being done?
We asked BCSO if they were treating Lira's pre-existing medical conditions before his death. Their statement said, in part, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is responsible for the safety and security of the facility. Inmate medical care is handled by University Health, our contracted medical provider, end quote.
Well, a controversial door-to-door campaign made its way to the Nogalitos neighborhood yesterday afternoon. The Party for Socialism and Liberation brought some flyers to hand to people at their homes. Now, the flyers shared immigration information for people who could have an encounter with immigration agents. Now, some people in the neighborhood were happy about that and others were not, sparking a conversation about ICE arrest in San Antonio.
I'm very happy with ICE in our neighborhood. If you want to pick up people, our jails are full of bad people he could take out of there.
We have to clean up our country because it's been ransacked. It's been taken advantage of by other countries.
If you're in the community and you're working class, if you've built a family, if you live in this community, you belong here.
Well, the Party for Socialism and Liberation says it plans to continue handing out these flyers, that Knowing Your Right flyers, every other Wednesday for the foreseeable future.
A new law that just went into effect 3 days ago means Texas has to look into suicide prevention and peer support programs in fire departments across the state.
Well, our Devin Karp spoke with local firefighters about how successful it's been here in San Antonio and why they want the whole state to have the help that firefighters really need.
Firefighter paramedic Emily Leffler takes pride in what she calls being a professional problem solver.
When you know that you did everything you could and everything went right and you were successful, it's awesome. There's no better feeling. But the reality is with our job is it's not always going to turn out right. It's not always going to be a happy ending. And, you know, we see a lot of tragedy.
That's why peer support and talking about the trauma you see with people who get it is such a big deal for firefighters.
I'm from the era that do your job, bury it deep down inside, and that's the end of it, right? But nowadays, it's that a stigma is going away a little bit.
SAFD Captain Ulysses Rodriguez is a peer counselor in the Firefighters Association, looking to provide the help he never had. And now, Texas law is changing too.
We want our members to say, hey, I'm drowning, I need a little bit of help, because we want to catch them early.
Texas House Bill 1593 requires the state to have an 11-person committee made up of firefighters, chiefs, and mental health professionals to study suicide prevention and peer support for firefighters.
I know right now it's just a committee to study it and to look at possibilities, but I think that needs to be a huge priority.
Emily recently treated a 5-year-old left in a hot car, something that hit her deep. But by the time she made it back to the ambulance, she already had 7 messages from other crews.
I see that you guys were on this call, just want to make sure you're okay. And I wasn't okay, but just knowing that I had people that they're not pushing, they're not prying, they're just letting me know, hey, we're here for you. So that was really cool.
Now Emily and Captain Rodriguez hope this committee comes to the same conclusion they have, that peer support saves lives.
It's not necessarily what you're saying or what they're telling you in return. It's you're making that connection that, yes, there's somebody else out there that's feeling what I feel. That's been where I've been.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Add insurance to the list of things getting more expensive, how much you can expect to pay, and where you might find some savings.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing some tough questions on Capitol Hill for the direction he's taking his department and America's health. That's coming up.
Well, stocks dropped in April when the Trump administration announced that tariffs, but 401ks bounced back and did well in first of the half year. So at the end of June, the average 401k reached a record high of more than $137,000. That is up 8.4% from the $127,100 recorded at the end of the first quarter. So this is according to data on roughly 25 million Fidelity Investments accounts. The average balance grew by 4.6% from $131,700 at the end of last year.
Well, getting health insurance through your job is about to get more expensive. Employer benefits consulting firm Mercer collected the numbers in a survey. It found workers can expect to pay, on average, an additional 6 to 7% in premiums next year. Some employers say they'll try to limit those increases, but that typically means you'll pay higher deductibles and out-of-pocket costs instead. Many companies are also offering workers more plan options, some of which have lower copays depending on the practitioner. The projected increase is the steepest cost hike in 15 years.
Well, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. appearing before a Senate committee. As ABC's Mola Linggi reports, this comes amid turmoil at the CDC and backlash over his vaccine policy.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Capitol Hill amid turmoil at the CDC and backlash to his vaccine policy. His controversial moves have prompted major medical groups and more than 1,000 current and former employees across the Department of Health and Human Services to call on Kennedy to resign, many of them joined by some members of Congress, rallying outside the hearing today.
I cannot and will not stay silent while our public health institutions are dismantled.
Inside, Kennedy defending the direction in which he has taken the public health agency.
These changes were absolutely necessary adjustments to restore the agency to its role as the world's gold standard public health agency.
Even some of the key Republican senators who voted to confirm Kennedy are unhappy about the changes he has made at CDC.
It also surprises me because you've canceled, or HHS did, but apparently under your direction, $500 million in contracts using the mRNA vaccine platform.
Today's hearing comes a day after Florida became the first state to move towards eliminating vaccine mandates for school children, a major shift that health experts are calling dangerous. The state Surgeon General, who has been accused of spreading vaccine misinformation, explaining his decision.
Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body?
But many health experts and even some parents are scared that ending vaccine mandates could put other children in schools at risk.
Very concerning. I would be concerned with other children who aren't vaccinated, and maybe possibly making my child sick.
While Kennedy's vaccine moves have generated some controversy, he has been applauded for other aspects of his Make America Healthy Again agenda, including his efforts to eliminate certain food dyes and limit ultra-processed foods. Mola Linggi, ABC News, Washington.
Well, switching gears back here in San Antonio, we're slowly warming up and still seeing those beautiful blue skies here on this Thursday. And those blue skies will continue at least today and tomorrow. But this weekend, we're going to start to see that cloud coverage really return on Saturday, especially with the 20% chance of rain, maybe a quick, hot, spotty shower. But then Sunday and Sunday into Monday, that's what we're watching for the chance of some heavy downpours at times because of the tropical moisture associated with the Lorena. I'll talk about what you need to know for your futurecast for this weekend and next week coming up after the break.
We have a couple of days to wait for the rain, but in the meantime, it's going to get pretty hot, especially for football games happening tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, I know Adam Caskey for the KSAT Pigskin Classic a few weeks back. He took his infrared thermometer to the different cement, the turf, the bleachers. The turf was actually the warmest. by like 10 to 20 degrees. So if the air temperature is warm, you might see the turf temperature warm. And here's a look at our air temperature over the next 7 days. We're expecting to get to 101 today, 100 tomorrow, and even Saturday for any Saturday football games, still 96 degrees. So even if you're going out to cheer on your kiddos, it might be warm for the bleachers, it might be warm for the concrete, but it's definitely going to be warm on the turf and the grass for the kiddos. So remember to drink plenty of water, especially because it's still going to be warm next week. But we get a little bit of a cool down this weekend, and that's when we're tracking the rain chances moving through. Only about an 85-degree temperature on Monday for us here in San Antonio. But like I mentioned, it's because of the rain. Now, we're tracking the heaviest portion of the rain Sunday to Monday. Now, it might not be early Monday, it might be later Monday afternoon. It's a very fluid situation because we're watching the remnants of Tropical Storm now Lorena move through Mexico and how it approaches over the Mexico mountains. So that's where we're watching for where we're going to expect the rain lottery and where we're expecting that 5-inch bullseye to really have a chance to impact areas across south central Texas. And where we see the heaviest rain fall, especially if it's on creeks or if it's on areas that are already saturated, that's why we're watching that chance to have the potential for isolated flash flooding. If you see heavy rain, you could even see some street flooding, the puddles on the road. So you definitely want to continue to check back with us as we'll continue to keep you updated, especially because Tropical Storm Lorena is now only producing 60-mile-an-hour winds, but it's still just about to make landfall on Baja California, but it's still very disorganized. But as I zoom out, you can see all of the moisture associated with it now entering into areas of El Paso, Texas. And that's what we're watching is over the next few days, all of this tropical moisture and all of this saturated air is essentially rain-making energy. And that's going to get brought into Texas while it meets with a weak frontal system moving through. That is going to move through starting Saturday for some folks, and depending on the time and track of that frontal system and this low pressure system, that's going to be the key factor of when we do and don't see and where we see the heaviest rainfall in areas of south central Texas. But even then, on Sunday afternoon, getting into Monday morning, you see all those bright blue colors? That just means we're getting very saturated air, and that's how much precipitable water is in the atmosphere to give us accumulating rainfall. And that's where we get that risk essentially for the flooding possibility on Sunday and even into Monday. Now, this weather graphic and this weather model doesn't necessarily show the most accumulating rainfall, but one thing it does do well is take a look at areas of Kerr County, for example. What it does well is where you see those yellow colors, that's where you're getting rainfall rates up to a few inches at times, 3 or 4 inches. But if you just go a few miles over to Comfort, you could see just an inch or so. And that's about a 20-mile radius. So not everyone's going to continue to see the heavy rainfall. And even then, it might not even be in that area. So you're definitely going to want to continue to stay close, pay close attention to the forecast as we'll continue to keep you updated as we get closer to the weekend.
It's now the third highest Powerball jackpot ever. What's it up to and what are the odds you could win? In New York, I'm Olivia Rubin with ABC coming up. Just when you thought it couldn't get bigger,
22,
it did. The Powerball jackpot growing, now hitting an estimated whopping $1.7 billion.
The odds of winning the grand prize jackpot are 1 in 292 million. Of course, the odds of winning any prize are about 1 in 25.
Despite those odds, people are still lining up to get their tickets, all in hopes of winning what is now the third largest lottery jackpot ever.
It's nonstop. Oh my goodness.
Especially in California at the so-called luckiest 7-Eleven in the world. Both of the previous two biggest Powerball jackpots sold in the state, and the fourth largest, $1.6 billion, was split between winning tickets in California, Florida, and Tennessee.
We were driving by and I told her, make a U-turn, let's go try our luck.
No one has won this pot in 41 straight drawings. So what's the secret to hitting those 6 numbers? Well, there is none. But one expert says it's best to avoid choosing any lucky numbers.
Your best ways to ensure that you're not limiting yourself is to do their quick pick, which draws it completely randomly, and therefore it is simulating what you're likely to see when the actual drawing happens.
Still, millions hoping Saturday might be the night they become a billionaire.
What would you do? Sail off into the sunset.
Now, the next drawing is Saturday night. If you are the lucky winner and choose the lump sum, you could walk away with $770 million in your bank account. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Well, I think it goes without saying that even though there's rain coming, we're definitely excited that the temperatures will be lower after.
For sure.
Because it's hot today.
Yes.
And then later this afternoon, it'll get even hotter. So, yeah, we will like the 80s on Monday for sure.